the game. We are finally getting it rolled back and started. You were right on the front of the Mario character for the Toad profile picture in the Rosalina for Linus. Going up against the Lucas, a character that you and I are none too shy to see for Monby throughout these Wi-Fi brackets. Stu, we got our first match going. Let's do it.
Yeah, I felt like I was honing in on it. I just felt, for whatever reason, maybe, just maybe it's going to be Bowser. But then again, maybe you don't want that big of a body getting juggled around by a Lucas. And certainly Rosa provides some interesting counterplay to this PK kid that we in Tri-State have become all too familiar with throughout the Wi-Fi era.
Oh, you don't even have to say that twice. For sure, of course, WebJP, formerly mating this character and proving himself to be one of, if not the greatest Lucas player out there right now. We are none too stranger to seeing the immense labbed out combos that this character can provide, especially for the lab monsters if they are one to really work out those combos. But when you're playing a character who can make herself as difficult to approach as Rosalina and Luma, sometimes those short, stubby limbs of a character like Lucas can make it just all the more difficult to get in against that hard-hitting pillow.
Yeah, no, Luma is not the character with which to be trifled. Sure, you can smack it around, but that thing can smack you around as well, and Linus is going to put them out on the front line. Eventually, that will be... miscalculation on the recovery, and that is the problem, isn't it? The success of every Lucas is predicated on their recovery and their ability and their optimization to mix up those routes. Well, it comes down to one thing, all in all, in Tunis. Can you grab the ledge?
Can you indeed, my friend? It's so important to find whatever positions of safety that you can possibly muster, no matter what position of the stage you're on, no matter where you are. Dealing with a character like Rosalina, especially in her famous ledge trap scenarios like right here, the shield presser safely from the way back, immaculating the puppet character, ladies and gentlemen. Doing what she does best in covering and being in two places at once.
Linus.
And that is going to be all she wrote, ladies and gentlemen. My God, Linus not even reaching 50% in that first game. That's a 3-stock, Stu.
Was that a 0 to death we just saw? I'm pretty sure it was. Because that stock wound up getting taken at around 48%. I don't think they suffered any more damage. Linus! My goodness.
All I'm saying is that Luma was not the only puppet on the string, ladies and gentlemen. Let's take a look at this play once again. Waiting patiently to just... I love that. I love that from Linus. He waited to see exactly where he knew that Monby was going to go, man. It's such a common mistake of lower-level players and beyond, at the very least when they're learning to game, to just constantly swing at their opponent, man. I want to hit them. I want to hit them where they are. It takes a certain level of discipline and patience to wait for where you know your opponent is going to be. And that's the kind of discipline we can only expect from a Rosalina and Luma player, my friend. It's not exactly... They don't exactly fit into the masher archetype of characters, to say the least. Rather, they are the puppeteering character, just throwing that Luma out there and being in two places at once, no matter who says you can't do that.
Yeah, so while we're talking about all these sorts of crazy things that are happening, Linus looking to make a statement, and this is one of those just... That was a rout. We can't really go and, describe it in any other way. That was just kind of got rolled, and it's going to necessitate the character switch over to Yoshi. And I find this interesting because, yeah, maybe you can approach I don't know. You can approach efficiently, and obviously you're going to go a little bit faster through the air. And Yoshi, of course, fastest airspeed in the game. But at the same time, you're still a big target. You have potential to get knocked around. I really don't know if Yoshi is going to solve any of the problems that Monby was suffering.
I agree with you on that front, Stu, because in my honest opinion, I think despite any airspeed that you could possibly have, no matter if it's the best in the game, like you said, the Yoshi's is, it's not going to matter against a character that I mentioned earlier can be in two places at once. If Rosalina knows where you're going to be, she doesn't have to be there to cover it herself. She can just put out the Luma, charge a smash attack, or get, that rapid jab going to produce pretty much infinite hitboxes to cover wherever Yoshi's going to land. That airspeed is only going to matter and come into play if Monby really knows how to mix up where he's going. Like, I like how he, despite having that immense airspeed, he decided to just hang back
Oh no!
and not approach, but the one time he does, Stu.
Oh man, absolutely smoked him. And yeah, Luma is going to get the brunt of Monby's frustration there. Has suffered more damage in this stock than they have the entirety of that game number 1 has Linus. So an improvement in that regard. But again, the only number that really matters is that 1 on the scoreboard. Linus looking to make it a 2 and indeed move on. But Monby, they're gonna forward air Luma again. Yeah, you got to think that Luma's frustrations are going to get going to be paid off here at some point as well. In the meantime, Linus with a full stock lead. Monby, we do see this with Yoshi's every now and then. Sometimes you just can't close the stock for whatever reason. You can't catch the landing for the up smash, and when you go for it, things like that happen.
And it's such a rough position to be in against Rosalina in general, man. Being down a stock against a character who essentially has a bodyguard at almost all times. But there you go, Monby finally taking out the Luma right there, knowing that that is essentially priority 1 at fighting Rosalina and Luma, is getting rid of that gosh darn star as quickly and as efficiently as you can, because God knows Rosalina is much easier to fight without that thing. But right now, Linus is doing such a wonderful job at showing that the airspeed of Yoshi doesn't necessarily matter as long as you keep making yourself predictable and overextending off the ledge for the second time in this set. That's a second 3-stock, Stu. I wasn't very good at math growing up in high school, middle school, whatever, say whatever you want about that, but I know what 3 plus 3 is, and that's 6. And this man got 6 stocked.
Really did. And that's a rough way to go out if you're Monby. But that's the thing, with when you're off the ledge with Yoshi, you have to be careful with your resources. Otherwise, you're throwing away stocks and you're not even meaning to, because you have so much that you can do with that jump, right? Like it's a very large double jump. Gives you a little bit of armor, especially on startup. You can just nullify people's attacks on the ledge with it and do some cheeky maneuvering back to ledge and make your opponent really account for that. But if you're burning it like that, you have that little bit of a hop with the up B, but it's not a lot, and it's not going to be enough, especially from down there. That is no man's land for Yoshi, and you're not doing that unless you're in a very specific part of the game. That was not where Monby was, could not finish off a stock, and it was not for a lack of effort, but again, just could not make it happen against Linus, who has proven themselves. Let's give Linus a lot of credit, though. That was a very capable Rosalina that I could see kind of making some noise in this bracket.